Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where this is the debug mode. So, you guys seem like you wanted the bug fixed rather than continuing with this weird situation. Let me just recap, if you missed the last episode, what exactly the bug was. So, I can't exactly go back to the autosaves anymore, like some of you were saying, and that is because this series is actually recorded before the Ottoman Supremacy series, and Crusader Kings actually only keeps 3 autosaves at a time. It'll overwrite previous autosaves. So this save is the one we've got, but we can fix the problem from the debug mode, so I'm not concerned about that. If you want to see discovering the problem and outlining what I think happened, well, I'm not sure if I explicitly said what I think happened, but if you want to see figuring out the bug, that's in the tail end of last episode. But the core problem here is that we were allied to the Mongol Empire, and this marriage was not matrilineal. That changed. I believe that this might have to do with the fact that the Fate of Iberia flavor pack, which came out with the update 1.6 Castle, I believe it has to do with something to do with the fact that that was enabled, and it was not previously enabled. I suspect that's what created this bug. I don't know that for a fact. That is pure speculation. But we're at war with the Mongol Empire, and we're supposed to be allied with them. This marriage is supposed to be non-matrilineal. That changed. This marriage changing appears to have annulled our alliance with the Mongol Empire while we were in a war helping them. And then they immediately declared war on us. So I asked you guys at the end of the last episode what you wanted me to do about that. I do believe we can win a war against the Mongol Empire. And technically, this matrilineal marriage doesn't matter, because these children are of our house. But you guys said that you wanted the bug to be fixed, and so that is what we're going to do here. So the simple solution here is that we are going to, let's see, I think there's a debug action here that allows us to... Okay, there isn't. But we could enforce a divorce here. And that will make her opinion go down. No one else's. Because... Or actually, all family members by 5. I don't care so much about that. All family members by 5 isn't a big deal. So this divorce happens. And then what we're going to do is we're going to arrange the marriage again here. And I want to arrange it with her. She is the recipient. Our player, heir, and son. Do we have to ticket a day? Maybe. Well, that's exciting. I expected to be able to create this marriage again. Maybe I can't because it is enforced. One thing we could do is we could quick imprison her, though. Like this. Nope, that doesn't work either. Okay, that's exciting. I was under the impression that we would be able to just recreate the marriage. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. Let me just reload here, and we'll try this again. See if we can find a different option for it. It may be that we can't remarry them with the enforced divorce. That's a possibility. So one thing that I think we might end up doing is just changing characters to one of them. So switch character, and we'd want that to be like switch to her. So we switch here, and we could simply have her divorce. And then we could redo the marriage from this end. In theory. So we arrange marriage here between her and us. Non-matrilineally, we send the proposal, and now that marriage is, I think, correct. Yes. Okay, so we swap back here. Okay. We check in here. Yes, this is a non-matrilineal marriage at this point. Keep in mind, this was not a mistake I made. I made it non-matrilineal. It switched, which it's not supposed to do, well after the marriage. Like, well after the marriage. So that's not a thing. And now, at this point, we actually need to switch over to this guy. The problem here is making this war go away, right? How are we going to make that go away? I think the way that we're going to do that is we're simply going to quick imprison him here. That just gives us 100% war score. And if we enforce demands, he's going to pay us 4,000 gold. I don't really care so much about the prestige here. This is kind of irrelevant to us. And losing all of this opinion because of the failed invasion isn't great for him either. I'm actually going to white piece it. So we white piece that. That white piece is sent. He will accept it. So we're going to make a save here. I'm not going to overwrite this save that we have, but I'm going to make this be fixed like that. We'll go ahead and make that. And now we're going to need to restart in non-debug mode. So let's go ahead and exit that. And let me remove the launch option there. Perfect. So this now appears to be, from what I can tell, all correct. And under most circumstances, I would have reverted to the previous autosave. Because the autosave didn't exist, I had to come up with this other solution. And ultimately, I think that this solution is a better one because it's more targeted, right? It's a more targeted solution. And we should then be able to renegotiate the alliance with him once we tick here. So that's the concept. Now, I don't expect that we'll have an alliance to start with. But we sent the white piece. He will accept it when we tick a bit. There we go. He accepts the white piece. And now we need to talk with him and negotiate the alliance back. We're going to gain stress from that. That's okay. I don't mind that. That will get us up to level 2 stress, though. So we should probably consider hosting a feast. Or actually, that wouldn't really help us because it is... because we're shy. But we could seclude ourselves here. There we go. We lose 24 stress. That'll be fine. So that should solve the problem. And we should be in the state that we are quote-unquote supposed to be in. So let me just double check that that all works. We are now allied. Or actually, he hasn't accepted our alliance yet, but he will. There we go. There's that alliance. So we're now allied with the Mongol Empire again. And this is back to a regular marriage. We'll keep an eye on it and see if this shifts again. But for the time being, that's what we're going to do. And I particularly like the white piece here. It's like the war never happened because we never really ticked with the war on. So I think he ended up losing a little bit of prestige and we gained a little bit of prestige. But honestly, that doesn't really matter for both of us. Actually, he's exalted among men rather than living legend, but it doesn't really matter. So that's absolutely fine. We're going to come on in over here, see if we have additional constructions that we can do. We definitely want to think about losing some stress, but I want to check in on our technology here. Windmills is done. Yeah, all of this is done. And let's see, we definitely can do constructions. So we should be working on any economic buildings that we can right now. We can go ahead and tick forward while that's going, but we definitely want to get some of these built. Okay. And as far as I know, there's just absolutely no way for this marriage to change type once they're married. Or even once the betrothal goes through. As far as I'm aware. It is possible that there's some, like, special Mongol things, I suppose. Let's see. We are potentially... Where are we trying to go here with our dynasty legacies? We've already got the vassal limit. We probably want to go for, like, Guile. Yeah, that wouldn't be awful. We'll go for Ominous Reputation here. There we go. And this guy is proposing an alliance. We decline. That'll be fine. Yeah, this is acceptable. And we're losing 24 stress from spending time with a courtier. Nice. 30 gold here and 10 gold here. That's all acceptable. I would like it if the Mongol Empire would annex these locations here. We are not allowed to at this time. Let's see. You're our vassal. You can go ahead and get out. That's fine. You're only a duke. Okay, we could lose 12 stress here. Or we could become a drunkard and lose 24 stress. I would prefer not to lose a domain limit, ideally. So we're just going to lose 12 stress. Okay. Now, holding a grand feast would not help us too much because we're shy. I do want to check in on our succession. That's probably going to be a thing fairly soon. We're 48 and we're in fine health, but let's check in on what we've got here. Oh, this is absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever there. Excellent. The Mongol Empire is going to be potentially a little awkward. But we're going to inherit that, and that's going to be very interesting for sure. Our culture has discovered the armillary sphere. And that, of course, means that we... Was that our exposure? That was our exposure, I think. Oh, that was just over here. I think that just naturally finished. Not an exposure at all. Cool. So banking is going to be done in about 4 years. Urbanization in about 11. Sounds good. We definitely want men-at-arms, and advanced bowmaking and knighthood would maybe be good. I mean, we could think about redoing our men-at-arms. So far, they've served us well. But they're pretty early game. There's no doubt about that. We've replenished our troops nicely, so that's great. I would like to think about potentially going after, like, Italy here. That is not very good odds. Okay, what if instead we were... Are all of these betrothed? No, not this one. What if we were to do our grandson here? Which one is our player heir's first child? This guy. What if we were hypothetically to do this? They would not accept this because wrong faith. Sure. So we would need to, like, abduct her, which we don't have the traits to do right now. Yeah, that's probably just not going to happen. Probably not. We're not allowed to press these claims. There's a de jure duchy that we could grab here. In fact, there's 2 of them. Wouldn't be the worst of concepts. But we're probably not going to do that at this time. I wouldn't mind continuing to fight Bohemia and get that, you know, annexed a bit. These de jure claims aren't great. I'm wondering, let's see, kingdom title here. So we need West Slavia, the empire title. And for that, we would end up needing 11 more counties. The rest of these are in Carpathia. For that, we'd need 8 more counties. Do we have any de jure over here? I mean, we can get 1 county. And in Wallachia, we can get absolutely nothing de jure. Okay. Orthodox and Norman. I wonder if we can get something done here. Oh, that's awkward. He doesn't have any children yet, and we're going to need to wait on that happening. But hypothetically, we're not actually going to do this. He would accept this. Okay, so we can probably work with Moldavia. Interesting. So we need to wait for him to have children. That's okay. No real problem there. Our wealth-focused lifestyle is working reasonably well. We have a decent amount of wealth. We should probably spend that on additional constructions, and that is definitely something that we will do. We will get our hunter stables upgrading over here. In Stegholm, we will work on our expanded docks. What are these ransoms? Just a duke? Sure. Duke? Yep, that's fine. Over here, we definitely want additional shipwrights, so we're just going to continue to expand our trade port. And expand our trade port. We're going to run out of cash fairly soon here. And that's okay. But I want to get as many of these upgrades done as possible. Definitely the 100-acre fields. That's very expensive, but it will pay off. Raiders, huh? That's ambitious. Men-at-Arms would allegedly take 3 months, but it's actually 20 days. So, cool. We're going to head in over... Not there. We're going to head in over here. And they're not going to be very happy about their situation here. This raiding isn't going so well. Get out of here. They are stack wiped. Excellent. So we will disband this army. No problem there. So yeah, I think Moldavia is probably the next one to go after here. So this duke wants to be ransomed. That's acceptable. We need to wait for them to have children. So we'll come back to that in a bit. Bohemia is not a great option because they're Catholic. What's the opinion with Orthodox? Okay, Orthodox wouldn't do that either. Okay. One thing we could theoretically do is kidnap, like, this guy, and then educate him to convert his religion and culture, and then put him on the throne. That is an option. It wouldn't necessarily be about inheriting it right away. However, when we've tried that in the past, often when they get on the throne, they immediately convert back. So that's not necessarily the greatest of choices. I do think that going for Moldavia is a very good choice. I want to check in on the Mongol Empire and see what they're up to. They're losing this attack right now, but I don't think they're going to actually have a problem with that. I think they're just walking from their capital, which is an awkward place to walk from for sure, but that's fine. Sure, show in the Jarl. We've got some decent amounts of cash right now, and with that cash, I would like to get additional upgrades going here. These are military upgrades rather than economic ones, but we should definitely continue to upgrade the economy over here in this county. In fact, what would a revocation here look like? Did this guy inherit? No, he didn't. Okay, so we need this guy to end up dying, probably. We could think about murdering him. But I don't think that's necessary at this moment. We'll be able to get that back eventually. There's a crusade for the Kingdom of Syria? Huh. Jerusalem is currently Catholic, so they're just going after this. I mean, technically we have borders with that. We can't join that crusade. But I think that's the first crusade that I've seen. Interesting. That's a fairly late crusade, if I'm honest. The Stenbock dynasty is now known far and wide, and we will continue to upgrade our economy here. Arnbjorn came of age, good for him. And get our trade port upgraded here. And in Stegholm, we can do wood pastures. Nice. We can lose 24 stress here. Or guarantee losing 24 stress, and that's what we're going to do. Cool. Okay, so we definitely need Moldavia to become more of a thing. As in, we need some children here. This primary heir is an awkward primary heir, that's for sure. There's the Crusade for Syria. And apparently we are actually involved in this. We do have some titles in the Kingdom of Syria. So how many Catholics are actually going to turn up here? Like 100,000? Interesting. We can't call more people into this. But I'm just trying to decide how I want to play this war. I think this isn't going to be all that complicated. So we're going to raise up troops. How many are we going to raise? Probably somewhere around 50k. Yeah, that's like half of what they have, but we'll have allies in this area. So 50k there. And these guys are only 1 day left. So we'll group that all together, and we'll split off our standard siege forces. Now, this is a little bit dangerous to come down here with a siege force. We'll keep an eye on it. There's a pretty decent possibility that our siege force ends up getting stack wiped down here, but that's, I think, an acceptable risk. So we're going to come down over here, and these guys, their goal will be to come down and stack wipe, ideally, although it's probably not going to stack wipe. Their goal is going to be to come down and fight Jerusalem over here. So that'll be okay. We're actually on our way over here And yeah, you can see they're coming in over this way. That's to be expected. And they did, in fact, catch our siege force there. I was hoping that they wouldn't, and that stack wiped. As I said, there was always a pretty decent danger of that. So we're going to raise up additional men-at-arms here. It's going to take time. We're going to be reliant on AI for sieging right now. We knew that this was a danger. I decided to take the risk, and it didn't pay off. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. So we're going to come down over this way. See about continuing to chase some of these Catholic forces. And I think we've got this solidly under control. I really do. Like, they don't really have a chance here, in all honesty. Did we just stack wipe that? We stack wiped. Oh, like 40k stack. That's insane. I mean, we're very powerful here. There's no doubt about that. We can siege this back, and we're not going to have our siege units for a while. We knew that it was a risk, and I'm completely willing to own that risk. So we'll cap this back. No problem here. And that should get us ticking war score. Now we can come down into Jerusalem. And we might want to continue fighting. We're not actually capped from battle war score. So we can continue fighting down over this way. We don't have to siege. There's another stack wipe. Currently at 80% war score. And these guys are just kind of running up over this way. Not a lot happening right now. We're going to continue chasing over this way. In fact, I'd like to grab these guys if we can. We don't quite intercept them, but that's fine. We're going to come over here and fight these. We do expect that we win this fight. Absolutely. This may end the war, actually. They're continuing to trickle in, so no stack wipe, but that's fine. Okay. We're 94%. And the Crusade is over. They utterly failed. Oh, an utter failure there. So we end up getting a decent amount of piety and prestige out of it. We'll go ahead and disband our troops. And we discovered banking as well. So what is being exposed next? Men-at-arms. Okay, I want to check here. Hereditary rule actually didn't finish. I'm a little surprised about that. But Men-at-arms is absolutely great. We're very happy about that one. 15 years for that. Sounds good. But man, that was probably the most failure crusade I've ever seen. That was impressive. Impressively poor planning there. So the Kingdom of Jerusalem got a little bit wrecked. And I mean, the whole Catholic world got a little bit wrecked there. I don't see what they were planning, in all honesty. I don't think that was ever going to work. Let's check in on Moldavia. She is now pregnant. Okay, that is fantastic. We'll keep an eye on that. The Mongol Empire, this is all good for the time being. This is still not matrilineal, so it hasn't switched. That's excellent. And we are still allied with this guy, I'm fairly certain. Yeah, we can offer to join his war. Mongol invasion of the Persian Empire. We might join his war. That would be this over here. Yeah, presumably he's attacking Shamirid. Yes. I mean, he hasn't called us in, so presumably he thinks he's got this. So we'll allow him to continue. Let's go see about building additional buildings for the time being. We've built up a little bit of cash. I would like to continue to build economic buildings where that's possible. So that'll be fine. We have a ransom here. This is acceptable. And a ransom here. This is also acceptable. We will go ahead and get this farms and fields ready to go. And some forestry as well. Forestry here. Sure. That's okay. I don't mind. We're also going to get some watch posts building. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, so Moldavia, what have you had? Nothing yet. That'll be like next month. No problem there. We'll go ahead and wait on that, and let's see what goes on here. If this is a female child, then that's great. If this is a male child, that is less great. So let's see. Peasant Revolt. Okay. Peasant Revolt isn't too... Ooh, that's a female child. We want... Let's see. This guy. Would not accept. Because it's a patrilineal marriage. Okay, fair enough. So at this point, what we want is another child, a male child, and then they'll probably accept that marriage, and then we would kill the male child. That would be the plan. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll see if that other child ends up existing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Spartan News, Rose Valentine, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.